Coming up on the 2014 FIFA World Cup magazine, the mustachioed maestro Roberto Rivelino. We're in Recife, where football fans are signing up to a special scheme. And we'll bring you the passion of and the action from the Brazilian Cup final. But we begin in Morocco, where at the FIFA Club World Cup, Atletico Mineiro were hoping to end 2013 on a high. Earlier in the year, under the guidance of head coach Cuca and the inspirational Ronaldinho, the club from Belo Horizonte had triumphed in the Copa Libertadores for the very first time. Here they were looking to make it back-to-back global titles for Brazilian clubs, after Corinthians' triumph in this tournament in 2012.
Atletico is a club that has always aimed to be in this competition. Because the team won this latest Libertadores title, winning the Club World Cup is now a dream that might come true. We know about the challenges ahead, but this is the most important competition in the history of this club. By me saying that, you can see how badly we want to win.
It would be Cuca's swan song in charge of O Galo, and he was hoping the tournament, which featured the champion club from each confederation, would mark the climax of a very successful period in Atletico's history.
We are not going to change the way we play just because we will be facing different teams. You can't play one way for 2.5 years, winning 2 state championships, being the runner-up in the national championship and winning the Copa Libertadores, and then change tact because you'll be playing against different teams. We'll continue playing our way.
Backed by large travelling support, O Galo's campaign began against the tournament's host club, Raja Casablanca, with the winner going on to face Bayern Munich in the final. They were the overwhelming favourites, but things did not go the Brazilians' way, despite Ronaldinho's equaliser just after the hour mark. With time running out, Raja won and converted a penalty before adding a third in injury time. Atletico's hopes of securing another title were dashed. Bayern lifted the trophy, but Atletico did salvage some pride in the third-place playoff with a 3-2 victory over Asian champions Guangzhou Evergrande, thanks to goals from Diego Tardelli, Ronaldinho, and a last-minute winner from Luan. It may not have been the campaign they were hoping for at the FIFA Club World Cup, but 2013 will still go down in history as one of Atletico Mineiro's finest years. Many Brazilian players have entertained us down the years, but who's your favourite? Here to tell us his is Gianluigi Buffon.
My favourite Brazilian footballer of all time is Ronaldo. I was fortunate enough to play against him many times, and I was lucky enough to play against him before he got those serious injuries that affected his career. He was a formidable player, a sensational player. He was sort of like an alien because of what he could do on the pitch. The fact that a footballer like him is not remembered as the best player of all time is a great tragedy, in my opinion. He had all the skills he needed to be the best ever.
A great deal is said and written about organ donation, but some people have difficulty understanding the process. They think that the body of their loved one will be disfigured. This simply isn't true. This does not happen. When the doctors remove an organ, they leave no marks on the body, no visible disfiguration. It shouldn't cause any harm or shame for the donor's family.
We've managed to break this taboo. It's made us very happy because at no point have we ever sensed anything negative. Neither have our fans. On the contrary, they've been busy distributing leaflets, printing their donor cards, and constantly talking about the subject.
Doação de órgãos é ato de amor. Amor ao próximo.
Organ donation is an act of love to others. When we come across people who are in need of a new organ, who have no quality of life, who are sad, who have no perspective, and who need a transplant, we feel this need. The development of this program has brought these people some relief, a hope that they can have a better life.
This is the story of a son, a mother with heart problems, and a football club with a unique approach to helping the population at large.
Nós sempre fomos muito apegados.
We've always been very close.
Ela e eu.
We've always worked very much together, her and I.
Eu a vi nessa situação.
So when she found herself in that situation, I felt powerless because I couldn't do anything for her. But I decided to fight however I could to try to make things better for her. We've always worked together. We used to run corner shops together. But all of a sudden, I realized that the time might come when she'd no longer be there with me. We felt that all could be lost at any moment.
But all was not lost. Hope was on the horizon. In early 2012, Sport, one of Recife's leading football clubs, launched Immortal Fans, a program designed to promote organ donation.
We wanted the fans to become organ donors, to keep their red and black hearts beating long after they die. That's why we created the campaign.
One day, a man, a total stranger, had a serious motorbike accident. He was hospitalized for a few days, but the severity of his injuries took its toll and, sadly, he passed away in his hospital bed. His wife had heard about the club's campaign and decided to donate his functioning organs. As a result, my mother and 4 other people benefited from the deceased person's organs.
After the transplant, she regained a quality of life that seemed to have been lost for good. She began walking again. She got her independence back. This newfound independence has enabled her to come and go without needing help from other people.
For me, Sport Club are very important. Since my heart transplant, my whole family and I support sport. We cheer a lot when they play, because through them I have a new life, both for myself and my family. I was living without hope, and now we're all very happy.
Thousands have signed up for a donor card, either at the stadium or online, since Immortal Fans was launched. Indeed, such has been the popularity of the programme, the waiting list for heart and corneal transplants in the city was reduced to 0.
51,000 donor cards have been issued so far. We're not talking about small numbers here. There are 51,000 people registered with the scheme, and they can print their cards at home.
Sport will always be the champions of my heart.
Sao Paulo is home to one of Brazil's favourite footballing sons. The son of Italian immigrants, he was famous for his cannon-like free kicks, long-range shooting, mesmerising tricks, And of course, his distinctive moustache.
Once I went to trim it and thinned it out too much on one side. So I tried to even it out, but it looked awful. So I shaved it off. That's the only time I did so. But I soon grew it back. I can't imagine myself without the moustache. I felt naked without it. My father had one, and even though he'd passed away, I could hear him saying, "Leave it, don't shave it off." So the moustache will stay, as it's a tribute to my father.
Roberto Rivelino spent most of his career at Corinthians, making almost 500 appearances for the Sao Paulo club. He played 92 games for Brazil, appearing in 3 FIFA World Cups, most famously in Mexico in 1970. Rivelino was 24 at the time of the 1970 tournament. Brazil, boasting players of the calibre of Pelé, Carlos Alberto, Jairzinho, Tostão and Gerson, simply overwhelmed their opponents. Rivelino scored 3 of the Seleção's 19 goals in the tournament, including a trademark free kick against Czechoslovakia in their opening game.
The first match enabled us to see how prepared we were, but we went 1-0 behind. I was lucky enough to score the goal that levelled things up. It settled us down. My goal was important because we went on to score 4. It was a wonderful start.
Brazil had been drawn in a tough group. As well as Czechoslovakia, they had to face Romania and the defending champions England. Still, they won all 3 and then eased past fellow South Americans Peru and Uruguay to book their place in the final.
Everyone expected us to go out in the first round, and suddenly we were in the final. Confidence was high, but we never thought we would win. Playing in the final was a different challenge, and we were up against Italy, a team with a strong World Cup tradition. But I think we played our best match of the tournament, and somehow it was the easiest game we played. We reached the final just as the team was peaking. That Brazil side played some wonderful football, so much so that our national team enchanted the world and is still considered the best team of all time.
The final goal in Brazil's 4-1 demolition of Italy combined sublime individual skill with almost telepathic teamwork. We've seen it all many times before, but sit back and enjoy.
There are very few players who can say they are world champions. I experienced that joy. For me, it really was my biggest achievement in football. I dreamed of it as a young boy, turning professional, playing in a World Cup and being a champion for Brazil. And we all know what a World Cup means to us Brazilians.
More than 4 decades on, expectations are high once again as the current national team prepares for another tilt at the trophy. Luis Felipe Scolari's squad was impressive in winning the FIFA Confederations Cup last year, but can they win the main event on home soil? Their predecessors tried and failed back in 1950, an outcome that rocked the nation for quite some time.
Scolari is on the right track, and Brazil are one of the favourites. I'm not saying that they will win, but whenever Brazil take the field, they're expected to do well, especially at home. I would like to see the team play good football. There's no obligation to be champions, but Brazil must play well. You can lose so long as the public is happy with the performance.
That was certainly the case in 1970 when Rivelino was among those to endear himself to Brazil's football-mad public. One of the best midfielders of his generation, the mustachioed maestro was a great entertainer. Christ the Redeemer stands proudly atop the Corcovado mountain, surveying the hustle and bustle on the streets and beaches of Rio de Janeiro. A visit to the statue is on the to-do list of almost every visitor, who should also take time to drop in on the neighbourhood below.
Santa Teresa is a very peculiar neighborhood, and it has always been linked to the arts. Many artists have emerged from here throughout history. There's also its architecture, which is fantastic. I think it's wonderful. And what appeals to me most about this area is that people like to talk to each other. When they pass, they greet you. When they see you, they take notice of your work.
Deborah Costa is one of the many artists who call Santa Teresa home. And those who visit are always impressed by what they find, not least the colourful Celeron staircase. Its 250 steps, a bright representation of the city.
The colours represent the colourful nature of Rio de Janeiro. It has the beaches, the sky. Everything here is a party. The whole morning, the whole day. Even when it rains, our days are colourful. So that is why there is an abundance of colour, because everything inspires us to be more cheerful.
Costa, who moved there 3 years ago, specialises in fabric and produces works of art that resemble paintings. She sews hundreds of pieces of fabric together to create striking images, and one of her latest projects features none other than Ronaldo.
I don't know him personally, but he was in my dream. He talked to me and his mouth was made of fabric. He was entirely made of fabric, and he talked through the material. So the dream was really funny. I then thought it would be nice to include Ronaldo in my art.
This bohemian corner of Rio de Janeiro, with its colonial buildings and cobblestone streets, offers something different for those looking to escape the beaches for an hour or two. And during the FIFA World Cup, the locals are planning football-themed activities for those who are passing through.
I think football transmits the joy of our people and of the area. And as it's such a beautiful place, everything goes very well together. It's this meshing of the area, the football and the art. It's so colourful and beautiful.
A hidden gem in the hills above Rio, Santa Teresa offers breathtaking views of the city. It's a must-see for those with a passion for art, and it's within easy reach of the Maracanã.
My name is Wanderson Docamo, better known as Wanderson. I'm from Baturute, near Fortaleza. I'm a forward and I play for FC Krasnodar in the Russian Premier League.
Wanderson is one of the many boys from Brazil, plying his trade thousands of kilometres from home. He'd only ever played in Brazil's lower leagues when the opportunity came to try his luck on foreign fields.
I was playing in Brazil when I was offered a trial in Sweden with Gais. It was a great opportunity, and on the second day there the coach said that he would like to buy me from my Brazilian club. I accepted the offer because it was very good for me and for my family.
Wanderson was 21 at the time and he quickly made an impact. In 2009, he finished the season as the league's top scorer with 18 goals, and his form earned him a lucrative move to Saudi Arabia's Al Ahly. Adapting to life there proved difficult though, and he rejoined Gais a season later. His second spell in Gothenburg was less successful, and Wanderson was soon on the move again, this time to Krasnodar in southern Russia.
It was an important move because I wasn't doing well in Sweden. The team was performing badly, and I wasn't playing the football that I felt I was capable of. But things changed when I moved to Krasnodar. Thanks to God, I started to play well and score goals. I've also been fortunate to have teammates who have helped me to become the league's top scorer.
Wanderson launched his career in Russia's top division by scoring 7 goals in 11 appearances. And his rich vein of form continued last season as he topped the league's goal-scoring charts.
It means a lot to me to play for Krasnodar. It's a new club that is growing, and every year it sets ambitious targets. I'm very happy to be here and to be a part of this project.
For any player of any age, a move abroad poses many challenges. Differences in language, culture, climate and food can have an adverse effect on performances. 2 years into his Russian adventure, Wanderson is coping well, and he seems to be a popular figure with teammates and fans alike. But how do things compare to the game back home?
In Brazil, football is very different. It's more technical and you have more time and space to play. Here in Russia, it's a lot more physical. That said, there are some very skillful players here.
This season, Krasnodar are again competing towards the top of Russia's Premier League, with Wanderson their leading marksman. A place in one of Europe's club competitions is very much their goal, and he's the man to fire them there.
We've been playing well this season, but we must remain focused. We mustn't think too much about it. We need to keep our feet on the ground and continue to work hard. If we do this, I believe we'll definitely be in Europe next season.
Now 27, Wanderson is approaching what should be the best years of his career. Along with many other expatriates, he still dreams of representing Brazil, but for now is focusing on domestic matters.
My plans are to take this club into Europe. This is because it's my dream to play in the Champions League, the highest level of European football. I will give it my all and fight to the end to achieve this goal.
Dreams do come true, and what a story it would be for the boy from Baturité if he could one day mix it with the best players in the world. In December of 2013, Rio de Janeiro's Estadio Maracanã staged its first domestic cup final since its redevelopment ahead of this year's FIFA World Cup. Fans of Curitiba's Atletico Paranaense and those supporting local giants Flamengo packed this cathedral of world football to cheer on their heroes as another gruelling season neared its conclusion. Evaristo de Macedo chose not to attend the game, but he's a man who knows both clubs well. Now 80, Macedo spent time as coach of Atletico and Flamengo, having previously made his name as a player in the colours of Flamengo and Brazil's national team.
Well, I started to play for the Brazilian Seleção in 1953. In 1954, in the World Cup, I had a very serious injury and I wasn't able to go. But in 55, I played in all the Seleção games, and the same in 56. In 57, we started by playing the Copa America, and later on, we played in the World Cup qualifiers. And Brazil qualified.
In 1957, after a century of goals in 191 games for Flamengo, Macedo secured a move to Spanish giants Barcelona. A year later, he was set to wear the number 10 shirt for Brazil at the FIFA World Cup in Sweden.
Unfortunately, I didn't go back to play for the Brazilian team anymore. That's because Barcelona didn't allow me to join up with the Brazilians, because, as Spain hadn't qualified for Sweden, they didn't interrupt their own national league. The league carried on until practically the start of the World Cup, so there was no way for me to play with the Seleção. I lost a great opportunity to be a world champion, but in any case, I was satisfied with what was happening in my career at the time.
Pelé took his place, and the rest really is football history. As for Macedo, he enjoyed great success with Barcelona and Real Madrid before returning to Flamengo to finish his career. Coaching assignments then took him and his wife around the world, but the Rubro Negro were always close to his heart. So would he favour them over Atletico in the cup final?
Today, I'm a humble fan, and my team is Flamengo. I want to see Flamengo win the cup, but if you tell me that Atletico will be champions, then I won't be sad, because I also like Atletico.
The first leg in Curitiba had finished 1-1, so Flamengo were understandably the favourites to secure a third cup success on home turf, and they certainly started the stronger. Urged on by the majority of the 69,000 fans, Flamengo were denied by Waverton in the Atletico goal on more than one occasion. With just 2 minutes of normal time remaining, Elias finally breached Atletico's defence to give Flamengo the lead. Their opponents had an opportunity to level things up, but it was the Rio Giants who would eventually find the net, 5 minutes into injury time. Hernani's 8th goal in the 2013 competition, putting the result beyond doubt. 2-0 on the night, 3-1 on aggregate. Flamengo would lift the cup for a third time. Next time on the 2014 FIFA World Cup, we're in Porto Alegre in Rio Grande do Sul. We'll meet the winner of the 2010 FIFA World Cup's Golden Ball, Uruguay's Diego Forlan. And speak to a familiar face in the crowd, Brazilian superfan Clovis. Until then, goodbye.